right. Hi Artistry, this is Miss Rebecca coming to you live from my backyard. It's nice and sunny out here, so I won't make this video too long because I don't want to get sunburned, okay? Our daily tip is core workout. Yay! Now I know that you've done a lot of different types of core and abdominal workouts. Even in the past few weeks, you've done a lot of them, probably. So I don't want to just repeat what you've been doing. I want to give you something practical that you can use to develop your own core workout. Okay? Now, when we talk about core, yes, it's your entire torso, from your shoulders, the front and back of your shoulders, all the way down to your hips and your bottom. Yeah, three-dimensional, all the way around. And then, you know, your limbs and your head, that's not necessarily part of your core, but activating your core helps you to move your limbs and your head so you can dance. All right, so I'm not gonna be able to tackle the entire core in just a 10-minute video, but I will focus on the abdominals, what we think of as the core. Okay, so how do you work out your abdominals? Well, it's helpful to think about the different actions that the abdominals help your torso to do. And then we're going to choose today just 2 exercises for each of those actions. Yeah, this is kind of like a little outline you can use to make your core workout. So the different actions are, we're going to just talk about 5 of them. Our flexion, okay, that's when you bend your torso forward. You can just think of it as bending forward, yeah. Extension, you can think of arching your upper back. Yeah, the abdominals are still helping you to do that, especially if you're like doing an arabesque. You're in extension and you have to hold your core up in front. Or maybe a swan on the ground and you have to press yourself up. Okay, so we have flexion or bending forward, extension, which is kind of like arching, lateral flexion, which is bending to the side, yeah, and then we also have rotation. So you can think of that as twisting or spiraling, yeah. You can have rotation of the shoulders, keeping the hips in the same position, or a rotation of the hips, keeping the shoulders in the same position. And then lastly, it is helpful to do an abdominal or core exercise that makes you kind of hold your torso in one piece like you would when you're trying to turn or balance, yeah? So we'll just call that isometric hold. Isometric meaning you're gonna like hold your core in one piece and not let it wiggle around. Alrighty, so let's come down to our mats and I'll show you examples, 2 examples for each of those movements that you could incorporate into your workout. And then you can choose your own, your favorites, or probably the ones that are hardest for you would be the best ones for you to do. And you're always welcome to ask me for suggestions, yeah? Okay, so the first one's flexion, or bending forward. That's usually what we think of when we do abdominals, but it's just one of the actions that you can do. So here's your regular curl up. Now make sure that you're not pulling on your neck, that you're just lengthening and rounding the back of the neck, and then the ribs actually have to come down, and think of connecting the bottom rib to the bottom hip. Okay, so that's your regular curl up. You can do it in a myriad of options. Your knees up, you can do it switching the legs. We also have the scissors that you're used to doing in Pilates, anything where you have to curl the torso up and hold it, or continue going down and up. Okay. One of my favorites is the hundreds. You've probably done this with me if you've taken Pilates with me. You inhale, exhale, reach the arms up, you come up into flexion, so you're curled. You're scooping your belly down, and we pump the arms in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maintaining that curled up position. You can stretch the legs out as long as you can control your back against the floor. You can lower them, you can even do different legs. So you're going to do 10 sets of 10. Let's do it together. I'm going to start with my feet on the floor for the first 2, and then take one leg and then the other leg off, and then I'm slowly going to stretch them and lower them as long as I can keep my lower abdominals pulled in. Ready? Inhale, exhale, nodding and curling up. I'm looking at my belly scooping down and my ribs scooping down. My neck is long and easy. Here we go. In 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's our third set. 4th set, if I can pick up my foot without wiggling. 5th set, maybe I stretch my legs. I'm trying to keep my torso curled up and controlled. Good. 7, lowering my legs. 8, I'm going to add a fancy little leg. 9, back together. 10, our last set. with control. Woo! All right, here's another classic Pilates exercise for extension. It's the roll up. Reach your arms overhead, ribs are still down, not arching. Okay, inhale. Exhale, slowly peel your back up off the floor, scooping your belly down, 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 down. You don't want to allow your legs to take over on this one. If they are, then maybe use a band around your feet to help you get the feeling of using your abdominals to curl up. And then you also have to curl down. Yeah. Inhale, curl out slowly and with control, scooping the abdominals out so you're strengthening the abdominals. And curling back down. Okay, so those are two of my favorites. There are many, many different abdominal exercises that use bending forward or flexion. Okay, so the next one, extension, we want to get our upper back to arch a little bit and have to use our upper abdominals to bring it back into a neutral position. So if you have a block or a foam roller or a ball, you can place it in your upper back, like right behind your bra line, and kind of arch over that ball, and your pelvis is nice and neutral. You're going to inhale here, and exhale, try not to pull on your neck, but just think of lengthening your neck, nodding your chin, and bringing the rib cage down to meet the hips. Don't tuck the hips here, it's about the upper abdominals. And inhale to release, exhale, curl back up. Inhale to lay back down with control. Let's do two more. Control to curl up. This is your flexion. Here's your extension. And last one. And go ahead and open and extend. All right. Another one that is really common and maybe more practical for things that you do in the studio is the swan. So we can just lie on our tummies. Okay, and you can do the mini swan with your elbows, elbows in front of you, and you just reach the forehead up and peel yourself up off the mat, one little piece at a time, and you want to connect your ribs off the floor at the top, and slide back down. Inhale, think of rolling a marble away with your nose, or drawing a line with a marker attached to your nose, and then come up. You want to connect your abdominals in the front, connect the rib cage, and slide the shoulders open, slightly press down. And then to test if you're truly strengthening your abdominals here, lift one arm, other arm, not wiggling, and then slide down. Let's do the other side. Coming up, test one arm, the other arm you have to hold with your abdominals in front as well as your back, and come back down. Okay, another version, we'll call this number 2, part B. Another version is leaving the hands here, and you float the nose away. Make sure the shoulders are open all the way up into your swan. And it's not a stretch, it's an abdominal exercise. Well, you're getting a stretch too. But let's make it more about controlling the abdominals in the back here. So tailbone is down, abdominals are engaged and lifted off the mat. Inhale, reach far away, float up. Only as far as you can control because you got to test again. One arm, other arm, and back down. Let's do the other side. Extend, one arm, other arm, and back down. Another great extension exercise. While I'm thinking of it, you can come up and float both arm and legs off, but make sure that you're not just shortening your body, but that you're lengthening out. Like Superman, and then float down. And you could do that 4 to 6 times, okay? All of these exercises, I think a starting point would be 4 or 6 reps, and then as you progress, go to 8, 10, 12. Alrighty, let's transition into lateral flexion. Okay, so I'm just gonna come to, and that's side bending. I'm gonna come to my back, and first we're gonna come up into this extension, the curled position, but then I'm also going to reach my arm to my opposite ankle and tap my heel or my ankle with my fingers. And then I'm gonna stay curled and tap to the other side. You could totally do this with your back on the floor, but curling up first makes it harder, okay? So right, left. You want to feel the side of your body, your obliques working. Make sure you keep your abdominals scooped down as you do this, side to side. Okay, and I would do, again, at least 4, right, left counts as 1. And then build up as you progress. My other favorite is the banana. Okay. So you can come down on your mat, one hand in front, make sure you're nice and stacked. You're gonna inhale, engage your core first, yeah? And then reach out, float arms and legs off, and come back down. Let's do that 4 times, 2. Make sure you're in one line, 3, stay. Maybe you could even balance there. I didn't. And then come through. Okay, we've got to do the other side. I'm gonna face you. So banana on the other side. We're bending to that side. Oops, forgot to use my hand for support. One. I'm trying to do it more with my muscles, my abdominal muscles on the side. I'm thinking of my ear, reaching my shoulder. 2, 3. You want to use your arm less and less each time. 4, and maybe stay. I finished. Alrighty. Ideally, you would balance there on the side of your hip and not go rolling. You want to do all of these exercises slowly and controlled, so you're actually strengthening your muscles rather than just going through the motions. Okay, so we did flexion, we did extension, we did lateral flexion, side bending. The next is rotation. Okay, I'm going to do one seated. You've probably done this with me before. Legs together, and you're just going to spiral 1, 2, 3, and back to the center. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale to the center. As you do this, you want to think of wringing out your waist like a washcloth, going, squeezing all of the water out, and then keeping your abdominals in and growing taller as you come back to the center. Hands on the shoulders help you not just yank with your arms, but actually do it with your core. Let's go right, left, 4 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Exhale, center. Sit up tall on your sits bones. 1, 2, 3. Center. Do this with your abdominals, not your arms. 1, 2, 3. Center. 3. Center. 1, 2, 3. Center. 1, 2, 3. Center. Last set. Good. Okay. And then another exercise that works on rotation of the upper spine is probably familiar to you. It's the bicycle. Okay, so yes, the knees are off, and you come up into your flexion, which is curling forward, but then you're going to rotate the upper spine by rotating your shoulders to the opposite thigh. Pelvis is still pressed down. Inhale, make sure your pelvis is still pressed down, lower abdominals are engaged as you rotate to the other side. Okay, so the idea here is that you're isolating your upper body and rotating your upper body around to your lower body. So let's go ahead and do it. Ready? Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep your shoulders lifted off the mat as much as you can. Do this by rotating your rib cage, not yanking on your neck. Curl up toward those knees. Last 2 sets. Look at your back elbow. Last one, make sure your belly button is still down and lower. Ah, woo. Okay, after all of that, I'm gonna stretch out the abdominals a little bit. Oh, truly stretching here, not really doing a core workout. Okay, last one. You wanna make sure we can hold your core in one piece. Okay, because it's not useful to do all those abdominal exercises if you're not gonna use it. So, an excellent way to do that is plank, of course. You guys know plank. You're gonna hold it. Yeah, work on holding it nice and still, pushing away from the floor, lifting your chest up, shoulders open, tail away from your head. There's lots of variations you can do here. Once you're stronger, you can lift one leg. You can add the rotation of the hips, or come down to your elbows and hold it, and then add rotation of the hips, side to side. Yeah, make sure you're not sinking in your shoulders. You can do push-ups, holding your core in one piece, elbows to the side or elbows below. I already gave you way more than 2 different options. Another exercise I find is really helpful for holding your core isometrically is just coming into all fours, holding your core in one long line, and lifting your knees. No change in the back. Make sure your belly button is pulled up to your spine. Okay? You're just gonna hold. Let's hold for 4 breaths. 1, 2, 3, lengthening, lifting my belly up to the ceiling, and 4, and rest. Okay. And hey dancers, so now you have kind of an outline of what you can use to build your core workout. So you're going to want to add at least 1, preferably 2 exercises for each of those actions. The forward bending, the extension, which is like arching using the upper abdominals, lateral flexion, side bending, getting those obliques in, and some sort of rotation for the upper or the lower spine. And then make sure to add something that is going to make you hold your torso, your core box, shoulder, shoulder, hip, hip in one piece, like a plank or an isometric hold. Yeah, so that when you're standing and dancing, that you have the awareness of how to actually use your core. And then go ahead, when you finish your core workout, since you're a dancer, you're going to be using your core to dance, then put it into something dancerly. Like just go ahead and, you know, stand, activate your core, and work on moving arms and legs from the core. So you're gonna activate your core that you just worked out so hard, and then move. It can be any direction. Opposite arm and leg is great because it really challenges your stability. Yeah, balance, being aware of your core. Or maybe a super complicated plank where you add opposite arm and leg. And then the last thing I just want you to be aware of is that always when you're working out, when you're dancing, it's most important to think about quality over quantity. So quality is how well you execute it, yeah, and quantity would be the number of reps. I'm not going to tell you like exactly how many reps to do, but you want to do as many as you can, keeping your form. And once your form starts to kind of fall apart, then it's time to stop. And then the next time you do that workout, you try, or that exercise, you try to do the same or maybe one or two more than you did before with correct form, yeah? And that way you slowly progress your strength. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a great rest of the day and enjoy your core workouts. Bye.